I don't pray for him as a president. I don't call him president. I don't even acknowledge him as president-elect because he wasn't elected. He stole it. He's a treasonous thief. So Daniel didn't have any regard, so why should I? Now, if he was honestly elected, which he wasn't, and he earned it and had God's backing, then I would. So I pray for him. Lord, save his soul, if it's not too late, and remove the man.
Not this way for the most part overseas, but churches in the American culture, you know, one of the largest expenses we have in buildings, the amount of handicap parking and handicap accessibility that we have in our churches. Now, let me make you mad for a minute, and I don't really care. Why is it you pull up to a church that says they operate in faith and you have 50 handicap parking spots? Ain't nobody laid hands on them handicapped folks yet. I don't care what Twitter says. You can get mad all you want to. Fold your arms, stick your lips out, pooch them out. I don't care. I'm so unafraid of what anybody in this tent thinks about me right now in my life, I could care less.
How many of you out there been to jury duty? Well, if you haven't been to jury duty or so, today is your day. We're going to put you on spiritual jury duty because as promised, I told you I was going to make a video of showing you that if a person has been put on trial, is there enough evidence to convict them of being a Christian? And as you saw there in the beginning of that clip, of someone that's professing to be a Christian or so, and where I'm going to show you this clips throughout this message, and I want to see towards the end, based upon what we talk about, you can look at certain peoples and you can determine even yourself, is there enough evidence for you to be convicted of being a Christian? That's where we want to go. And I've got the notes right here. I've got them. So we're going to go down this list. You'll see some clips here and there, and we're going to talk about it because you're on trial right now. You are on trial being charged for being a Christian. And we know, as I have down here in my notes, the religious political leaders tried everything to rid themselves of Jesus. I had here they paid an informant of Jesus' own followers, and he returned the money and declared the Lord innocent. And I'll put the scriptures in there for those of you that may not be aware of the verses on where this stuff is. And I'm here, they orchestrated an armed mob to intimidate him. He kept his cool and restrained his followers. And then we have the leaders even presented witnesses to testify against him in court. They even perjured themselves or contradicted each other. And so they tried everything. Now you're on trial. You're on trial. And here we go. Question number one, prosecutors standing up. And the first thing, well, do you display the beautiful Beatitudes described by Jesus in his Sermon in the Mount? Example, blessed are the peacemakers, blessed are the merciful, someone that shows compassion.
In a just society, adulterers would be punished as criminals, and in some cases, Calvin would probably argue in many or most cases, the penalty would be capital punishment, in which case divorce would not be necessary because there would not be a spouse left living to divorce.
Does that look like a person that shows compassion? That's supposed to be a pastor. Does that look like someone that shows a compassion? That's a pastor, supposedly. That's some other that these people that call themselves pastors, leaders. So there you have that. So as we move on, is there enough to convict you? So let's see. Thinks with a transformed mind and expresses a spirit of genuine love and shows respect.
Bunch of devils. I'm sick of it.
For authority. Thinks with a transformed mind, expresses a spirit of genuine love, and shows respect for authority based upon Romans 12, chapter 12, verses 1 and 2.
Let it be so, Father God. Let it be so. Let it be so. Lord, right now we just release the presence of the Lord in the Senate chamber. We just Release the hovering glory of God Almighty in the Senate chamber. Pray right now, Lord God, over every desk.
Are you thinking with a transformed mind by studying the word and getting an understanding of the word and expressing love and some type of, and not hate, and expressing yourself and respect authority? Well. You know, there's a lot of people that don't respect authority around here. Evangelicals that call themselves, they don't respect authority. They say they back the blue, a whole lot of them. But at the same time, they don't care that when those that was on January the 6th were trying to defend themselves, I can only imagine a mob. And you get these people that call themselves evangelicals. Oh, those were actors. Oh, those were this or that. That's Antifa. Well, then why did Trump pardon them then if it was Antifa? If they supposed to be a terrorist organization that they're starting to call them and all. Why would he do that? It's silly. It doesn't even make sense. But this is the thing with what's going on. I told you there's a lot of masqueraders out there masquerading as Christian. Oh, they like to wear the little cross. They think that makes them, I don't know what it is. You know, they wear this cross and they think that validates them and puts them in right standing with our Lord some kind of way and puts the illusion towards others that, yeah, I love the Lord because I got my cross on. I got my cross on and I love him. And at the same time, their hearts are dark. So as we move on here, as we look for evidence, as we're out any evidence, they try to convict. Do you, let's see, where am I at? Displays the fruits of the Spirit described by Paul in Galatians. Fruits of the Spirit, self-control, kindness, some of these things. Do you think that you see that, or do they see that in you? The fruits of the Spirit, demonstrations of love, patience, kindness, certain things. These. I mean, where is it in you? Or does people say he or she's a hell raiser? Oh, here she come today. Here he comes today. Oh, they always, and they're right in the church. Many of you know there's people that, there was an old deacon that I knew from my old church there, had a very deep voice and you can hear him everywhere. But man, that was the mean old guy. He always wanted to argue in Bible study, argue with any and everybody, and argue in the church business meeting. He was a mean old guy. Mean. And I used to be like, who ordained him as a deacon? I mean, because he had been there. He's an older gentleman. I'm like, this guy, who was the pastor that did that? Because it wasn't my pastor, because he was this deacon was in place before my pastor had got there. I mean, this is the kind of things you see, these types of people. They're roaming around everywhere. So let's move on. And I have on here, looks out for the interest of others in the humility of Christ. Philippians chapter 2, 1-4. Looks out for the interest of others in the humility of Christ.
I think the first table of the law, in other words, the first, second, third, and fourth commandments, should be enforced by the state. That there should be a punishing of idolatry, of suppressing of blasphemies, and a protecting of the Sabbath. So that puts me typically in the outer rim of the cocktail parties at the Libertarian Party.
I'm not saying this to be mad. I'm saying this because I feel like I'm going to go to my advocate, Jesus. I have $400,000 to pay. And the only reason I took a line of credit is so that I could have this, and we wouldn't have to wait potentially. Can you imagine still being in there, then this sanctuary done, and we don't have the money to pay for the AV, so now we got to sit there for a year, because that's how long it would have taken. And I said, well, can I get a line of credit? And I didn't know what else to do. Well, you shouldn't have borrowed. Oh, then tell that to the prophet who said to the widow, go get some vessels, go get some vases, and borrow not a few. And it was sanctioned and blessed by God. But here's the thing. There are pastors that sat there and did nothing and were quiet for almost 5 years. This pastor went and took out a line of credit so that we could pay for all of this stuff. We have $400,000 left to pay. We are putting on a conference that still some, I'm wondering why you haven't registered. I'm not trying to rebuke you, but I'm saying, come on, when you have someone that has been a Peter, that has been a rock, you need to get behind it and support it.
Do these type of people look like they look out for the interests of others? No. These people that you see, many of these evangelicals nowadays, their interest is themselves. That's who they looking out for. They are looking out only for themselves. And I question if they even look out for their spouses and kids and everything. I mean, this is like a cutthroat deal. I mean, this thing is only about them. They're not looking out for the self-interest of others because they don't care. They don't care if people are hungry. They don't care if people are spiritually lost. They don't care if veterans are don't get the treatment that they need and everything is being pulled out from underneath them. They don't care. They don't care if an elderly person is just left out there to hung to dry and don't have any type of support or help. When I was chaplain and going through the nursing homes and the amount of people, elderly folks, or sick, especially some of the elderly ones, where they're like, my daughter, I mean, they say my daughter or my kid dropped me off here at the nursing home and I've never seen them again. They had me sign some papers and that was it. Never to be seen. How can you, I mean, it was very disheartening seeing stuff like that. And the fact that, but you know, it's such a blessing to be able to go around and talk to people like that because some of these people just don't have nobody to talk to, whether they're in a nursing home, a senior home, not a senior, just a lot of lonely people out here that feel abandoned. And do these types of people that we're talking about here based upon the list, is there enough evidence to convict them to being a Christian? As we said on here, look out for the interests of others? No, it's all about themselves. Selfishness is what it's about with these people. And I have on here, rejoice always, praise without ceasing, and everything give thanks. Yeah, these people, many evangelicals, do you give thanks? Thanks for the little things? I mean, there's little things. I don't know what it is about Christians, and so that so many feel like it has to be some gigantic blessing day in and day out. And then you get caught up in these prosperity messengers online that wants to tell you all this great wealth transfer, and it's the little things. Because many people's alarm clocks have gone off this morning, and guess what? They didn't wake up. And you be thankful that you even opened your eyes. You be thankful that you didn't get a call in the middle of the night that something happened to one of your loved ones. You be thankful that health report that you was worried about, that it came back okay. You be thankful that you were on the verge of maybe being homeless or not knowing how you were going to take care of a certain bill, but God made a way. You be thankful. And these types of people that you see a lot here on the media atmosphere, many of them, they ain't thankful. They're greedy. They greedy because they just got to have more and more, and they're selfish in all their ways. And as we go here, it says, carry out the works of the faith and compassion, controls the tongue, and is known for wisdom. You know, I've talked about it, many of you that follow me, where I talk about some of these self-appointed pastors and leaders and things where if God forbid, if you have to have, let's say you were, little Johnny is acting up, staying out at night, or your daughter is dating somebody and she's leaving off on the weekends or runaways and all of this craziness, and you got to go to some of these types of people I've been showing you. The wisdom. They're fools in their own minds because many of them, they act like they love God, but in their hearts, the fool said that there's no God. And because if they truly believed there was a God, they would have fear and reverence for him and would not do what they do. Period. I would be scared to lay my head down at night or even leave thinking that, oh my God, where they say, oh, will he strike me down? I would be worried about being struck down by the Lord for doing some of the things that these people do, especially lying in his name. So you have people out here, they can't control their tongue. Some of the hateful things that they be saying, some of the craziness things that they say, as you see here.
And I say, even as you told me to say in 2015 against Hillary Clinton, I now declare against Kamala Harris.
Yes.
That according to James 1:11, that her campaign is as grass, and that she is even as the flower of the grass, and that the burning, searing, exposing heat of God now causes her campaign and her herself to wither away, and to become as nothing.
They can't control the tongue. This is supposed to be leaders, pastors, other evangelicals. You've seen it within whether your Christian circles and things. Yeah, we're human. We may, have a blow up here and there. But if this is your lifestyle where it's just day in, day out, you're comfortable conducting yourself that way, no compassion, tongue is just constantly just downing people, you have nothing but negative to say towards everybody. And that's a problem. That's a big problem. And then as I go down here, holds truth. This is the last point. Holds to the truth about Jesus and defends it. Holds truth about Jesus and defends it. You know what these folks, many of these people, these evangelicals here, there's a whole lot of folks. They don't hold to the truth of Jesus. They don't hold to it and they don't defend it. They do not hold to the truth and defend it. You know what they defend? They're defending the flag. They're defending the United States of America. The flag is what they're defending.
Look what the Lord has done. The White House, Capitol Hill, in the name of Jesus, California, New York, Nebraska, in the name of Jesus. Someone give God praise. Bring that flag. Bring me that flag. Bring me that flag. Bring that flag. Bring that flag. Run, skip, hop, jump. Just when they said it was over, not on our watch, not for much. I'm snatching it from the fire, and I say America will have revival again.
They're defending politics and defending the kingdom of this world, and it's not doing any good because Jesus is not being lifted up. They might spurt his name out here and there and talk about him, but their focus is this on a different level. So you're sitting in court. You heard what you need here. You heard the list and stuff. Now, is there enough evidence to convict you? If somebody had to put you on trial, put you up there, and they come across the things we just read off, would there be enough evidence, enough for a jury to say, yeah, they're guilty of being a Christian. They're guilty of being a Christian. They're guilty. And I'll close it with this particular story. Back when I was probably 20, 21 years old, and I was on a driving, and I was with a little girlfriend at the time. And mind you, I'm not saved at this particular time. And I went to a side of town that I heard about growing up. Like, you might not want to be on that particular side of town because blacks aren't really liked over in that particular side of town. But we went over that way because the hotels were cheaper. And here we go. I'm on that side of town, and we're getting ready to go, and I'm going to take her so she can go run home and get some clothes and change because we were going to have a party at this hotel. And lo and behold, I'm riding down the street, and I see like sheriff cars everywhere. And Next thing you know, there's probably about 5 to 7 sheriff cars, and they surround me and cut me off and all jump out with their guns. Get your hands up. Get your hands up on the steering wheel. Get them up. Guns all in their faces. And I'm like, whoa, 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 wait a minute. And what color shoes you got on? What color shoes you got on? And they flash the flashlight. That's him. And what had happened was a restaurant had got robbed, and the guy apparently had on some red Nikes or so. I happen to just have on some white Nikes with a red stripe on it. That was enough for them to yank me out the car, guns to me and my girlfriend's face, going all of this, and then I'm out there in the middle of the parking lot, and they're waiting to bring the manager. And the manager comes, and I'm out there handcuffed by the police car, and here comes the manager, pulls up in the car. They shine the spotlight on my face, and he's looking in the back seat of the car, and he looks, and then he shakes his head like this and go, no. And I remember looking at him eye to eye, and I said, thank you. Because, there's so many people that's still locked up today based upon false testimonies, or they've done time based upon a false convictions and things. And I could have easily would have went to prison off of if he was a person that it was another black person. Oh, they're all the same or whatever. If he was, that's not an upstanding, had any type of integrity or whatever, and could have just said, yeah, that's him. But he did the right thing. And I'm thankful for that. Thank God, because it showed me, even in my little time, when not even knowing the Lord, and that there's good people and things out here. And there is good people out here and things. But there's a bunch of people out here that are masquerading and lying and using the Lord for gain and things. And unfortunately, they're portraying themselves as being Christians, and they're not. And there's not enough evidence to convict them. So I want you to stand firm, and I want you to be guilty of serving the Lord, because that's what we want. We want to be guilty of serving him. We want people to say, yes, they know when you walk to maybe the offices, wherever you work. People know. Don't put the word Christian in your mouth. Don't let people know you're a Christian, and you know how it go. They will talk about people, call you the biggest hypocrite behind your back. I've heard the talk over the years of various people and that's the mockery. You don't want to be a mockery. We got to stop this. Shame in the name of the Lord. Stand firm, stand strong, and your jury duty is up. You can go home now, and you're guilty as charged. And this right here, to be guilty for serving the Lord is a good thing, because you're not going to be shackled up and cast away when you're serving in the kingdom of the Lord. But the truth is what sets you free. And on this channel, we'll continue to tell the truth. We'll continue to talk about issues the church run away from. Continue to tackle Satan and his tactics, punch him right in between the chops. Evangelism for God is the channel. My name is Maurice Braxton. Until the next video, my friends, take care. God bless.